What's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we picked up a 1983 Honda XL200, and as you can tell, this bike is in pretty good shape. The owner said that he got it from an estate sale. From what I can tell, everything is original. There doesn't seem to be any aftermarket parts, and the biggest selling point for me was this unit only has 765 original miles on it. So I think this is going to be a pretty simple fix, but let's get it into the garage. We'll dig into it a little bit, and hopefully we'll take this thing on its first test drive today. All right, so we got the bike in the garage here. Let's go ahead and dig into this thing a little bit. I haven't looked at it at all, so we're gonna troubleshoot everything. Let's check our fuel first. Go ahead and look in this gas tank here. Just kind of stuck on there. There we go. All right, so looks like it's rusty. Let me grab a flashlight. As you can tell, there's some bare metal. Not the worst that I've seen. It definitely needs to be cleaned out good, but the fuel looks pretty clear. It's not super murky, so I think we can work with that for now. It does look like there's a filter on it, so hopefully that filter is doing its job and that carb won't be super dirty. But I definitely want to work on this gas tank at some point, and then it does have a dent right there as well. Maybe we can heat that up and bend that out. I'm not exactly sure. We'll have to look at that probably another day. But let's go ahead and get the gas tank removed. We'll get these plastics removed as well, and we'll inspect this bike a little bit better. That little hinge right there, it's broken off. I don't know if we can fix that. I don't think it's repairable as is, but not a huge deal. There's two 12 millimeter bolts underneath the seat here. That's how you remove it. And check out that seat, guys. That seat is in almost perfect condition. Not a tear in it. All right, let's get in here and take a look at this air filter, see if there's one in there. So, it does not look like there's an air filter. It literally looks like they just have like some kind of cloth or something wrapped around it. Yeah, no air filter. At least the cage is in there. Looks like it's the original cage. And I think I may have an air filter that'll fit over this for the time being until I can get another one. But it looks very clean in here. All the parts are there, which is nice. So I'm gonna cut this off and throw another new air filter that I just have laying around on it, so we at least have something for now until I can order a new one. Again, like I said, not a perfect match. It's got a little bit of a, well, no, it's sealed. That's the rubber piece from the air filter. So yeah, not an exact match, but it'll get the job done, especially for a first ride until I can order up a new one. It's oiled up and it's sealed up nicely, so I think it'll do the job. All right, so we know that the air filter is good now. I want to check and see if this thing has any power. And it does have a key. And when we turn the switch on, it doesn't look like anything powers up. The horn doesn't work. Blinkers and headlight's not working. So it looks like this thing has a battery. Let's go ahead and test our battery out here. All right, so you guys have seen this tool in a previous video. I love this little thing. It'll tell us our voltage if there's any. So what we do, we hook this up to the negative here, and then we'll cross over to our positive and see if it lights up at all. And I'm not getting any kind of reading. So I think our battery is junk here. Yep, battery's no good, so we'll have to replace the battery. But I think I have another battery. I believe this one's 6 volt, most likely. So I have a spare 6 volt. We'll hook up that one and we'll see if we get a light after that. All right, I had to rob this one from the TS250 for the time being. So let's hook this up here, black to black. There we go. And red to red. All right, so if you can see there, we're getting 6 volts now. So let's see if we've got power up at the dash now. All right, let's turn our key. And as you can tell, we have a neutral light now. And got a little bit of a horn. Headlight doesn't work. May have to have the machine on and running for it to work. But at least we know we have power. I don't think you have to have a battery to start this thing up. I just wanted to make sure that, you know, our electronics are working. So that's a good sign. And this battery is a little weak, but at least we know it has power. It's functional now. So I guess the next thing we need to do, we need to check and see if this thing has spark. I'm gonna go ahead and remove this gas tank before we kick it over. And guys, whoops. Besides that one dent on this side, I mean, this gas tank is in pretty good shape, and I think it's gonna clean up nice. There's no leaks in it, and I mean, paint looks pretty good, so I think this thing will clean up pretty good. And now that we got the gas tank off, you can tell that this bike is very clean. I mean, I showed you guys earlier that it has low mileage on it, but now that we've got everything off, I mean, you can tell that this thing was not ridden very hard. I mean, there's barely any dust on the inside of this frame, not scratched up anywhere or dented up. So, I mean, it looks really good for the year, and they only made these 2 years. So I would say this is a fairly rare bike, given that I don't see too many of these come up in this condition. But with that being said, let's go ahead. We're gonna pop out our spark plug. Gonna check that. Gonna put some oil down the cylinder since this thing's been sitting a while, and we'll start kicking it over to see if this thing has spark.
No, that's not a good sign. The spark plug was barely in there. Didn't even have to put any pressure on it. It's pretty black on the end there. It looks like it's running a little rich. Tip is a little brown there, so maybe not too bad, but we'll go ahead and put some oil down the cylinder there and see if this thing has spark in it. All right, hopefully you guys can see this. Get my key on, and we're gonna kick this thing over now. Not seeing anything. Oh yeah, I see it. It's pretty good spark. Hopefully you guys can see that on the camera.
Well, now that we know it has spark, I guess our next and final thing that we need to do is go ahead and dig into this carb and make sure that it has fuel. When I was kicking it over, it felt really smooth. I didn't notice any red flags that stood out to me. I didn't hear anything out of the norm. So I think this might be a pretty easy fix. And it looks like this is the original key and carb. So we're gonna pop that off, dig into that a little bit, get it cleaned up, and hopefully we'll take this thing on the first test drive today. So let's hop on over and we'll dig into that carb. Before we do the carb, I got to looking and I noticed that there's a little toolbox on the back here. I'm interested to see if there's anything in here. So that opened up, and I think we have a toolkit back here. Let's see. Oh yeah. Look at that. Got the original toolkit, and the tools are still pretty shiny, so I doubt that they've ever really been used. That's a pretty cool find, especially in a bike that's over 40 years old. You don't see that too often. So we finally got our carb free. I didn't record it because it was a little tricky getting it out of there, but essentially it has two 10mm bolts that you have to remove. You have to remove your tube to your air filter, and then it slides out the left side of the bike. You have to unbolt this little guy here. I'm not exactly sure what the name of that is, but once you do that, it'll slide out and you can access the bowl. So we're gonna take off the bowl here, inspect that, see how gunked up it is, and if it's really nasty, then we'll remove the whole carb and throw it in the ultrasonic cleaner. Bunch of fuel dumping out of here. Let me grab something to catch that. I'm not gonna lie, the bowl actually looks really clean. There's a little bit of debris down in there, and the carb itself on the inside looks pretty clean. I'm gonna spray everything down with carb cleaner and get it put back together, and I think this bike is just about ready to fire up. So let me do all that. We will reinstall everything, and I will see you back tomorrow, and we'll hopefully start this thing up for the first time in several years. Well, as you can tell, it's the next day. We got the bike all put back together and we're just about ready to take this on a test drive. Before we do that, I just wanted to thank you guys again. We just crossed the 2,500 subscriber mark. That means a lot to me. I'm very thankful, and I never thought that, you know, I would get to this point when I originally started this channel. So thank you guys for watching. And on another note, guys, in my own personal life, as you remember in previous videos, I talked about my wife being pregnant. We're days away from her giving birth to our son. So we're entering a new chapter of our lives, and I'm gonna try to keep content coming as I can, but definitely be praying for us. We're very blessed and thankful for the opportunity to have not only one, but 2 children. So we're really looking forward to that. But with that being said, let's go ahead and attempt the first start on this bike and hopefully take it for its first drive in 10 to 15 years. So I hooked up the gas tank back like it was, since we have a filter, and the gas in there didn't look old. I'm assuming the person that I got it from maybe threw some gas in there before I got it just to see if it would start up. So we're just gonna reuse the gas that was already in there, but we got our key on. And fuel's coming out. I'll give it a second, make sure that carb's not leaking. Looks like our gas stopped there. It's not leaking at all, yet at least. So let's kick this thing a little bit. All right, we'll try to choke it. Oh. It wants to go. Sound like it's idling low. I may have to turn that up a little bit. So our headlights working. Probably still need to turn that idle up a little bit. But the engine sounds healthy, it's not smoking. And it really didn't take that many kicks. It's starting to idle a little better as it's getting warmer, so it may be a little ridge still. But it sounds great and it looks great. I cleaned it up a little bit. And that carb, all we had to do, the pilot jet was a little clogged. I sprayed that out with carb cleaner and cleaned the bowl, and that's literally all we've done to the carb. So yeah, let's throw on the GoPro. Let's take this thing for its first test drive, see how it does on the road. I can't go too aggressive.
Our tires are dry rotted. We need to replace those. Oh, it just died on me. So let me get it started back up, and we'll take it down the road and see how it does once we warm it up a little bit. Two kicks, not bad. I'll just bring that with me in case we need it. Our brake light's working. I don't see any smoke. And it's really quiet, which I like. Our horn works a little bit. Man, this thing's smooth. Our odometer's working, and speedometer. Brakes, front brakes. Yep. Nice. Dude, this thing's sweet for a 1983. I mean, I would assume this is a one owner, if not, you know, whoever's had it in the past, the previous owners, they didn't do much with this thing at all. I mean, this is all the original paint, original plastics and everything. So this thing's awesome. I don't even know if I want to get rid of this thing. You guys tell me, should I keep this thing? I'd like to try to get a title for it if it's possible, because I think these things are street legal. I mean, there's places for the rear view mirrors there. But yeah, this thing's awesome. I don't want to go too crazy with this thing since the tires are dry rotted, but I would like to take this thing off-road a little bit since it's a dual sport. Not the greatest suspension. I don't know what all's over here. I can tell it's idling real high now. Let me turn that down some. That sounds better. But yeah, man, this thing is awesome. I love this thing. Yeah, you guys tell me what I should do with this. If you want to see more videos with it, or if I should sell it, and if I sell it, you know, what do you think it's worth? Because I've never owned one of these before, but I really like it. It's a really nice size. I mean, I'm 5'10", 5'11" on a good day, and This one just, I don't know, it sits well. I feel like I don't really have to stretch down far to get my legs to touch. But anyways, we'll head back to the house. Oh, kitty cat. Hey, kitty. What you doing? That front brake is squeaking. I mean, I'm surprised at how little work this needed. I mean, I'm not given the condition of it, but I mean, out of all the bikes that I've owned that are older like this, dude, it takes so much work, and the carbs are filthy, but this one was very clean. Hey, cute. We don't need that.
Well, I think that's going to wrap it up for this video. So if you guys like videos of me working on old dirt bikes like this, let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And I've also got more videos planned for you in the future. A buddy of mine recently gave me a vintage 1991 Husaberg 350. I can't wait to work on that one, and that's probably what I'll do next. So be sure to let me know what you guys think, and we'll catch you in the next video. Appreciate it, guys.